All right, welcome everyone. I would like to show you a few things. In Canvas. So, under today's modules, that isn't showing up right. All right, let's try that. There we go. All right, modules. I'm not sure how you guys are viewing the content for the course. I have a suspicion that a lot of you go directly to calendar and you're looking at your calendar like to-do dates. And that, I understand that. The thing I'm a little concerned, and I'm gonna tell you, is I build the course in modules to kind of give you a sequential, like, hey, this is what I want you to do today, then this is tomorrow, then this is the next day. So like today, like this was Monday, this is your yesterday, and then here's your today. And then there's stuff, and when we click on that, like, hey, this is what we did today on Monday in class. And then here's a video that if you are ever gone, you can click on. Welcome everyone. Just like I'm doing right now, I'm recording, right? So we can see what we're doing and what you missed and what you heard. But if you are only looking at calendar things, then you're gonna miss, like, hey, look, here's where the periodic cell analogy project is. Because this is due on Sunday, and it doesn't show up on your calendar until Sunday. But under modules, it was listed. Under today's in-person agenda, it's listed. In tomorrow and Thursday's virtual to-do list, it's listed as finished. So if you aren't I'm doing agendas and I'm doing to-do lists intentionally as pages with links, so like when you click that link, it will take you to the analogy project. And I'm just worried that if you click only on due dates, you're gonna miss some of this stuff that is gonna be kind of important. So this 11-minute video, there's a Google form that goes along with it that you submit a screenshot of. There is also another video on tomorrow's to-do list. And let's see if this is up and running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like, so that, and here's the to-do list, or the Google form that goes along with the video that's on Thursday, Friday's to-do list. Okay? So take a screenshot and submit these. The quiz did not go great for all of you. On Monday, and just be aware that that was your homework, was to go through and learn about cell theory and cell parts. And you could say, well, just filling in words on a spreadsheet, off of a spreadsheet, isn't that great for learning? That's why I also attached that video, because I'm concerned that if you're just clicking through a slide presentation and you're filling in words, it's not good for learning. That's why I attached the voiceover recording, which is gonna be helpful. I'm not saying it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be perfect, but it should be helpful. That's why we also had you work on this eukaryotic cell building instructions, this project. Because one of the things is I asked you to list the functions of the different cell organelles, to reinforce the functions of your cell organelles. Your cell analogy project is going to reinforce your functions of your cell organelles. Okay, so we're gonna spend some time reinforcing it, but this is virtual day homework. And in the past, a lot of time, homework is something to reinforce in class material. Or homework is like a front load, like, hey, this is what we're gonna be talking about in class tomorrow. I'm gonna get a little bit of information, but it's gonna get reinforced in class. That's not the school system we're in right now, at least not that's not the biology system we're in right now. Because we don't have 5 days of in-person. So those virtual day lessons aren't necessarily reinforcements, they are the learning. Okay, so just be aware of that. So if you have questions, at the end of each day, when you finish that homework, you should kind of be thinking to yourself, do I have enough information? Did I learn this material well enough that if Mr. Davies were to give me a quiz tomorrow on it, I would do well? And if the answer is no, then you should be spending some additional time on it, not just done with that, move on to the next thing, because I need to make sure I understand and I learn this material, so I need to do a little bit more, I need to spend a little bit, even though I finished that assignment, I need to make sure I understand and I've learned from the material. We're not trying to give you busy work. The intent is not busy work. The intent is trying to give you learning opportunities. So in today's agenda, because we kind of struggled a little bit with cell theory and cell organelles, I have these Quizlets links. So this is a link to a Quizlet, this is a link to a Quizlet, and we're gonna spend a little bit of time, we're gonna do a Quizlet live together in class. I'm gonna have you go through, but they're listed so you can always go through and you can reference these later. Okay, so like here's your flashcards. So pro means before or no nucleus. It says, some of the people have said it's asking them to log in. If you log in with your school Google account, you can get to the rest of the stack. So what is the basic unit of life? I am on something, oh, I clicked something else. Okay, so like cells are, all living things are composed of cells. Cells, all living things, right? So we can do flashcards that way. We'll do a live activity in a little bit. I want to talk quickly about your cell project analogy, because then my video can be done, and then we'll do some Quizlet stuff. The cell project analogy due Sunday or Monday if you're a B-Day student. You are not submitting the Google Doc, you're submitting your project. So make sure you submit your project. Now, what does that project look like? Lots of options. Posters are an option. I don't have any big poster paper, but we don't really need a huge piece of poster paper because it's not like I'm gonna hang it on the wall. You're gonna take a picture and you're gonna submit it. So you could make your poster out of a piece of paper this big, or you could tape two pieces together and make your poster out of two pieces that are now maybe this big. Okay, so you could do some things like that. It says no PowerPoint, Prezi, or Google Slides, and I'm gonna backtrack slightly from that statement. And I'm gonna say you can do a Google Slides or a PowerPoint or a Prezi as part of your project. Simply submitting a Google slide presentation is not acceptable. That's not what I'm looking for. But if you want to do a presentation, a slides presentation, as like your template, and then you explain, you do like a screen recording with like a voiceover, I'm okay with that. And you can say, well, why is that now all of a sudden? Because essentially that's what Clips is, right? That's essentially what you could do with Clips. You could take a picture and you do a voiceover, so why wouldn't I let you do that with Google Slides? Okay, so that's a slight variation. I'm okay if you do that, but now you're submitting the video, not the slides. I don't want to click through a slides presentation. I want to hear an interactive project where you are explaining your analogy. And if you're concerned that I'm going to take your project, I'm going to blast it and say, hey, check this thing out, I won't do it without permission from you. If I think it's really, really good and I want to share it, I will say, hey, can I use your presentation? And if you say no, then I won't use it. It's fine. Okay, so if you're concerned about that, don't worry about that. If you are in my 6th period class, 6-7 class, you might see Mr. DeBoer making comments on your Canvas submission. Mr. DeBoer and I co-teach 2nd hour and 4 or 5. So him and I are kind of working together to grade stuff. And instead of him going through and saying, I'm only gonna grade 2nd period and 4-5 period, he might be grading your stuff as well if you're my 6th period class. So just, if you see Mr. DeBoer and a comment from Mr. DeBoer, that's why, that's who he is. So it's still valid feedback. I trust him, we work together. He knows exactly what the expectation is because he does 2 of my 3 classes together, so just be aware of that. I'm gonna give you a chunk of work time today, hopefully right around the 20 minutes to a half hour work time. We're going to do a little bit of Quizlet review. So are there any general questions about the cell analogy project? Okay, then what I want you to do is I want you to go to today's agenda, and I was a little concerned watching some people try to find the in-person agenda. So I don't know if that's on me or if that's on you for not knowing how to get to the in-person agenda for today, but I will show you. So I will always put the current week on top of the list. So we are in the week of October 12th. We're going to scroll. We are going to scroll. So this was Mondays or Tuesday. Then virtual was Tuesday or Wednesday, but we are in person on Wednesday or Thursday. And then you click here, and then right here, right below this video that I'm recording right now will get posted. Okay, so if you're ever missing, the videos are going to be posted here. What I want you to do is I want you to click on Cell Theory, I want you to open up the stack of flashcards, and I want you to flip through that stack. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to flip through that stack first, then we'll do a Quizlet Live to kind of review those. We'll do that maybe once, maybe twice, we'll see. Then we'll come and do the other stack, okay, with the cell part organelles. So I want you to do cell structure and function, section 1. Flip through those, cells, microscope, unicellular, multicellular, organelles, prokaryote, eukaryote, cell theory, those. Give you about 2 minutes, then we'll go through and do a Quizlet Live. But you guys on the video don't need to watch us do that. So have a good day.